Channel 8.
I'm with the kindergartners. Wow.
Impressive. Love the jellyfish, too.
Yeah.
NBC Nightly News is coming up next. A special report tonight on near misses.
We'll be back at 6 and see you then.
It happened again. This time, Oklahoma. A 13-year-old opens fire on classmates. Is any school safe? Lost in space. One last desperate attempt to find the mission to Mars, but it seems to be a total loss. $195 million. Tug of war. In America, a little boy rescued at sea celebrates a birthday. In Cuba, Castro demands bring him home. And in depth, when planes almost collide. Close calls in the sky. Are they being kept secret?
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. What is it about America and kids and schools and guns? Today, another school, another teenager, and another gun. This time it was Oklahoma. And while everyone is relieved no one was killed, still the questions and the frustrations linger. What drives youngsters to such mayhem? Overall, teenage violence may be down, but the exceptions are coming too often. NBC's Frederica Whitfield in Fort Gibson, Oklahoma tonight. Frederica?
Good evening, Tom. Tonight, this small town asked the same questions as Pearl, Paducah, Jonesboro, and Littleton. How could it happen here? The routine of a Monday morning back to middle school, shattered by gunfire. Police say a 13-year-old boy just dropped off at school pulls a 9mm handgun from his backpack and starts shooting.
We were shooting at us, and the bullet hit the wall, and a piece of rock came off and hit my friend right here in the face.
Student Justine Hurst.
There's blood everywhere, and just 3 kids were down.
Her dad says what everyone in this small town is thinking.
It's just hard to believe they're not safe anywhere.
We just didn't think it would happen in Fort Gibson, but I guess it could happen anywhere.
4 students shot. Hospital officials say none of the wounds life-threatening. Cody Chronister was hit in the arm. His parents.
I just praise the Lord that he didn't get killed.
School staff here, trained after the deadly rampage at Columbine High School, rushed students to a central cafeteria as the shooting begins. Moments after the shooting, a science teacher, also a school security officer, grabs the shooter, who surrenders without struggle. Later, a jailer says he asked the boy why he did it. The shooter reportedly said, "I don't know." Classmates say the boy is an honor student, a football and baseball player.
He's the quietest one in the school, almost. A straight-A student, nice and everything.
Police are not saying how the boy got the gun or if he's been in trouble before. This is the 9th school shooting in the country since the deadly Pearl, Mississippi shooting in 1997. The high school here in Fort Gibson recently installed surveillance cameras. The middle school was next.
You would like to think you'll make it so secure that nothing could happen. I think we'll all be conscious of it and try to do things. I'm not sure a school district can ever do enough to make it totally safe.
Classes will be in session tomorrow. Officials say counselors will be available for students. Under Oklahoma state law, a 13-year-old who commits a crime but doesn't kill anyone cannot be charged as an adult. Meantime, tonight, the parents are refusing to allow police to talk to their 13-year-old son. Tom?
Thanks very much. NBC's Frederica Whitfield tonight in Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. And it's been a long weekend and a blue Monday for the team of NASA scientists working on the mission to Mars. This was supposed to be a triumph for them. Instead, it's been an exhausting 3 days. And now it's down to one more desperate attempt to find the missing Mars polar lander, which was supposed to open an exciting new chapter of information about the red planet. Instead, it appears to be gone forever, along with almost $200 million. Here's NBC's Robert Hager.
Tonight looks like a total failure of the Mars shot. Total. $165 million lander that was the centerpiece, and 2 small $30 million probes as well. All 3 missing. No contact. Time already up for the probes.
Probably at the end of today, the batteries would have been completely exhausted and their mission would be over.
As for the lander, engineers have listened for its direct signal and heard nothing. Listened for a signal relayed via a satellite orbiting Mars. Nothing. Sent commands to the spacecraft. Again, nothing. They'll try once more early tomorrow morning, but after that, hope lost.
If we don't hear anything by Tuesday, though, it's a matter of we're going to have to move on.
So what happened? Could a parachute have failed? Braking rockets failed? Or could there have been a crash landing, antenna or computer failure?
In fact, if the mission is lost, we're not likely ever to know why. That's because the lander's too small to be seen by a satellite from overhead. And it was designed without a system to track it on its way down. Such a system would have been complicated, cost too much money.
Instead, for unmanned shots in a time of government budget cuts, NASA trying to build smaller, simpler craft, a policy called faster, better, cheaper. Professor John Logsdon.
Landing on another planet is basically a hard thing to do. And this mission, the Mars Polar Lander, was trying to do it on the cheap.
But now, after one Mars shot failure last September that already cost $125 million, and now this, faster, better, cheaper, is a policy in question. The organizer of a website called NASA Watch, former space agency engineer Keith Cowing.
Sometimes you can't just go cheaper. You've got to be able to lavish the money on these projects that they require.
But NASA says its policy of less expensive shots permits more tries, chances to make up for failures. So 2 more unmanned Mars missions scheduled in 2 years. But meantime, some tonight questioning what's really better in faster, better, cheaper. Robert Hager, NBC News, Washington.
Now to the latest threat coming from Fidel Castro, an ultimatum to the U.S. government. Hand over Elian Gonzalez. He's that young Cuban refugee who survived the harrowing trip to American shores, lost his mother along the way, and is now torn between these 2 distinctive worlds. Here's NBC's Kerry Sanders.
In Miami's Little Havana neighborhood, Elian Gonzalez today celebrating his 6th birthday. Cuban exiles here calling him the last symbol of freedom this millennium. In Cuba, the chant, "We want Elian in Cuba." Cuba's President Fidel Castro calling Elian a kidnapping victim. Yesterday, Castro issuing an ultimatum to the United States. Return the child within the next 72 hours or, quote, "We are going to move heaven and earth. It will be war." Why is Castro so interested in one young refugee?
He's using this to play anti-Americanism in Cuba, to create tension, to try to rally public opinion internationally in his favor.
Today, outside the U.S. interest section in Havana, a platform going up, intended to be the focal point of anti-U.S. demonstrations. The Cuban government is busing in thousands to take part in the protests.
We hold the Cuban government responsible for any harm to U.S. citizens or to our interest section that may come from the public protests called for by the Cuban government.
At the family home in Cuba, Elian's father calls his son in Miami to wish him happy birthday. His father saying he is now a child of the entire Cuban people. Around his hometown, his picture is everywhere. Even at his school, a birthday celebration held in his honor today. Elian Gonzalez protected by Miami police tonight. The boy is living with his father's relatives, many who only this summer fled Cuba themselves. Their fear, someone may try to snatch Elian and return him to Cuba. A place where just 1 year ago, he was just another kid, celebrating his birthday with his mother and father. Kerry Sanders, NBC News, Miami.
And in Monte Carlo tonight, a strange twist in the murder mystery that we reported on last week. A male nurse now has confessed to setting the fire that killed one of the world's wealthiest men, Edmond Safra. As a funeral was held for Safra in Geneva, Monaco's chief prosecutor said the nurse, a 41-year-old American, admitted he started the fire and had hoped to emerge as the hero who saved the billionaire banker. That nurse now faces the possibility of life in prison. Coming up next, they're called near misses, but they're almost hits. NBC News in depth tonight. Sometimes close calls go unreported by air traffic controllers.
It's not just the controllers. It goes all the way throughout this organization that error rates and errors aren't reported throughout the organization.
Close calls in the sky. How often do they really happen? There's some surprising new information. That's tonight's In Depth. And the home of the brave. An American GI's act of Christmas kindness in the middle of a world war. Why it remains an enduring lesson.
Good morning, Mr. Schwab.
Morning.
Introducing Velocity from Schwab, the new incredibly powerful online trading software system. With the power to place multiple orders at one time, it's fast and smart. And, if you'll pardon the expression, cool.
Hey.
This is for those ready to hit the road.
Hit the road. This is for the long way home. This
is for those who want to widen their horizons. This is for the passing lane. This is for right now.
Right now. Hit the road for 2.9% APR financing, and you can get average finance savings of up to $16.18 on a 2000 Grand Prix GT. This is for me.
For me.
Hit the road for Pontiac driving excitement. This is for me.
In this life, there's just no stopping. No break for a hacking cough. No rest for a raw, sore throat, aches, fever. But when you're desperate for relief, there is TheraFlu. Fast, powerful, hot liquid therapy. With the first sip of that soothing hot liquid, you feel relief is on the way. Soon your throat is soothed, your cough calmed. Maximum strength TheraFlu. Now in new honey lemon chest congestion and cough. Instant comfort, powerful relief.
This is the face of erectile dysfunction. So is this. And this. Fact is, 1 in 3 men have some form of ED, a medical condition also called impotence that affects men of every age, race, and background. What else do all these men have in common? They all faced up to their problem and got help. If you're experiencing ED, there's no need to hide your face. Just talk to your doctor. It's the best way to get educated about ED.
New tonight at 6, the Mars lander appears to be lost in space. As NASA decides what to do next, hear what science buffs at OMSI are saying about this failed expedition. Tonight at 6 on Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first. Be part of the magic of New Year's Eve in downtown Portland.
NBC News in depth tonight. Close calls in the skies. Surprising information tonight about close calls and almost collisions. They're happening more often than you think. That's of special concern with one of the busiest travel seasons now in full swing. Last year during the holidays, from December through January, passengers took more than 85 million trips on U.S. carriers. Now, in conjunction with the Wall Street Journal, the latest on airplanes that simply got too close to each other in the sky. NBC Jim Avila tonight begins our in-depth reporting.
3 times a day, more than 900 times a year, the nation's airplanes are involved in near misses. And now evidence from the FAA that close calls may be happening even more frequently than that, claiming controllers are covering up an estimated 6 to 8 close call incidents a year.
On any situation where you have human performance involved, and an individual would face recertification or retraining, there could be some reluctance to report.
Case in point from FAA transcripts. LaGuardia in New York last April. A dramatic near miss never reported by the controller. Runway 31, an Air Canada Airbus, taking off to the northwest, already up in the air when the co-pilot shouts, "Look there." Filling his cockpit windshield is a U.S. Air DC-9 cleared to land on an intersecting runway. So close, the controller later said 20 feet from wing to cockpit. But the incident was reported only after the U.S. Airways pilots complained.
We need to be aware of it and analyze it in the system.
In September of last year, an internal FAA memo warned controllers that reporting close calls is mandatory. Quote, appropriate discipline shall be proposed against any employee who had knowledge of the event and failed to report it. But 3 months later, January of this year, Los Angeles International, a dangerous jumbo jet near miss, the FAA says was never reported by the controller. An American Transair 757 cleared to take off from runway 24 left. Sitting on the end of the runway, while up above, United 757 is cleared to land on the same runway. The pilot on final approach pulls up, missing the parked plane by 200 feet. After landing safely, the United pilot tries to ask what happened, but his radio transmission is mysteriously blocked.
Runway 21 cleared.
And it's not just big planes and big airports. Appleton, Wisconsin, a maintenance truck working on lights at the end of the runway, nearly hit by a plane cleared to take off. Tapes of the incident mysteriously erased. The FBI now investigating. Frequent FAA critic Mike Boyd.
It's not just the controllers. It goes all the way throughout this organization that error rates and errors aren't reported throughout the organization.
Near misses are rare, one for every 60,000 takeoffs and landings. But hiding them, say the experts, can also hide the patterns they need to prevent the next accident. Jim Avila, NBC News, Chicago.
Of course, for a pilot, a close call is an unforgettable experience. Jim Tillman says it is a rare experience. He was involved in one in just 29 years as a pilot for American Airlines. Now retired, he recounts what it was like on that cloudy day when two planes almost collided. Tonight, Jim Tillman, veteran pilot, in his own words.
In this particular case, they had an overcast, and just as I broke out of the overcast, I looked up and saw an airplane right in front of me. I had a windscreen full of Cessna. I really thought we were going to hit. In the flash of the instant there, I stuck the nose down. I thought of a gazillion things. I kept waiting to feel something and hear something or get some indication that I had a hit, and it never came. It was a terrible experience. And what it does do, it makes you that much more alert. I mean, you never take anything for granted. Even if you had before, you don't anymore. You can get lulled into a routine, you know, and it's important to every now and then get a wake-up call. Hopefully not quite that dramatic. Everybody really wants safe skies, and they're really working hard to do that. The accident rate has not increased in proportion to the number of airplanes that are flying. So we are able to handle the density. It's still a matter of fact, the most dangerous part of your flight is your trip to the airport. So if you got through that all right, you're in good shape.
Retired pilot Jim Tillman tonight in his own words. Still ahead tonight, the home of the brave, remembering an act of Christmas kindness. And up next, presidential politics. Can John McCain pull an upset in the first primary?
5 things to consider about the Chevy Impala. It's new. It starts under $20,000. It's designed, engineered, and built to be carefree. It's at your Chevy dealer now. It's received the highest frontal crash rating possible. 5 stars from the federal government. The new Chevy Impala. As USA Today put it, it's a lot more car than you imagine, at a lower price than you expect. The new Chevy Impala.
Let's go for a drive. Labor of love took on a whole new meaning when Kyle was born. 12 hours of labor.
One of life's most joyful moments can also be one of its most painful. But take comfort, as so many women have, in Tylenol, the pain reliever doctors and hospitals choose most.
Come meet your little brother.
Hello.
Tylenol, take comfort in our strength.
If foods like onions and peppers give you gas, then do what I do. Take Beano before eating. It has a natural food enzyme that helps prevent gas caused by many vegetables, including beans. And for me, that's great news. Prevent gas with Beano.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Did I mention he has his mother's eyes? Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
I'm the Black & Decker floor buster. I eat broken glass for breakfast. I eat cat litter for lunch. Let's just say I have an insatiable appetite. I'm the floor buster. I'm built by Black & Decker.
You know how much Grandma wanted to be here for your first Christmas? You see, Grandma lives way down here, and you live way up here. Brian, your cousin, he's a little bit older than you. He lives here in Chicago, and your Aunt Lisa lives here in Baltimore. Uncle Ernie? Way out in Hawaii. Oh, but don't you worry. We'll always be together for Christmas.
Being together is the best part of the holidays, and Cheerios is happy to be part of the family.
You just ate Dallas.
Tomorrow on Today, it's time to deck the halls and decorate your Christmas tree. But before you buy, whether you're shopping or chopping, find out what we have to say tomorrow on Today.
Start the millennium with NBC News.
Presidential politics, another debate for the GOP hopefuls tonight on the same night that one poll is putting frontrunner George W. Bush in a statistical dead heat with Senator John McCain in the first primary, New Hampshire. Joining me from tonight's debate site in Phoenix is NBC's David Bloom. David?
Tom, this is the second Republican debate in the span of 5 days, and ironically, the only candidate who's not here in person in Phoenix is Arizona Senator John McCain. He'll be participating by satellite so he can keep campaigning where it matters most to McCain, New Hampshire. Far from his home state of Arizona, John McCain campaigning in New Hampshire today. Not because he has Arizona locked up, far from it, but because McCain's long-shot bid to wrest the Republican presidential nomination away from Texas Governor George Bush depends on McCain winning the February 1st New Hampshire primary. Strategically, Arizona can wait.
Thanks for service. Semper Fi, huh?
And so McCain is selling not so much an idea, but himself, his heroic life story, played out in McCain's latest television ad.
John McCain, character, courage.
The Arizona Maverick on the cover of Time, even as frontrunner Bush gets blasted today by the Republican-friendly Wall Street Journal editorial page as, quotes, too programmed and defensive. McCain's biggest liability, critics say, is his volatile temper. Perhaps, they whisper, the result of his 5.5 years as a prisoner of war. And so this weekend, the former Navy pilot shot down over North Vietnam released some 1,500 pages of medical records, proving, as Time magazine put it, that he's, quote, no crazier than anyone else who would run for president. In the documents, McCain is described by fellow POWs as a diehard, a hardhead. His courage is unsurpassed, and there was no tougher resistor among POWs, wrote one superior. After his 1973 release, doctors conducted a battery of psychological tests and concluded Commander McCain has adjusted exceptionally well to repatriation. As to tonight's debate, there could be some fireworks. It's the first in which the candidates can question one another directly, and Steve Forbes' campaign has already made clear he'll be gunning for Bush. Tom?
Thanks very much, NBC's David Bloom tonight. It was a mixed day on Wall Street today. Profit takers took over the blue chips, and the Dow finished down as a result, more than 61 points. However, technology stocks stayed strong. NASDAQ gained more than 25 points, another record close for that market. I'll be right back, the home of the brave.
Yeah, let me get this straight.
Yes.
Are you actually saying I don't have to pay you a separate commission every time I trade a stock?
Exactly.
I'd pay an annual fee instead.
Right.
Is anyone getting
If we
this?
don't pay you a commission every time we trade, what's your motivation?
It's just like always in your best interest.
Could you just explain it again?
Maybe what it is the fee is based on the value of our portfolios. So when we succeed, they succeed.
You'll have to be patient with us. This is all very new.
This year, things are going to be different because your doctor can prescribe Tamiflu. Ask your doctor for information on Tamiflu and call this number or visit our website. This year, you and your doctor have Tamiflu.
20 years now. Where'd they go?
Need help with those?
I can do it.
20 years. I don't know.
I mean, you just caught an etch. It happens.
I sit and I wonder sometimes.
Year after year, it's good to have someone you can depend on. Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather one, gather all. You're going to see something that will truly astonish you. A talking dog. This dog not only speaks right, it's cowboys and cowgirls, come on over. I'm going to show you something truly amazing. This is an alien space egg, ladies and gentlemen. Step right over this way, and you will see the world's most amazing computer deal. That's right, it defies belief.
Computer deals that sound too good to be true usually are, unless it's a Gateway PC. For $28 a month, you get a PC with a year of AOL included from a company you can believe in. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
Every year, LensCrafters runs Gift of Sight missions to bring sight to needy people around the world.
We change lives with these glasses.
And the more we collect, the more people we can help.
Please bring us your used glasses today.
Thanks for making a leave. For almost 5 years, I had a hard time walking. I went from doctor to doctor, but even after surgery, I had some pain. Tylenol worked for a while, then quit, and the pain came back. Finally, a doctor suggested a leave. Within a week, I was dancing all night like I hadn't done in years.
Aleve can stop pain all day with just 2 pills. It would take 8 Tylenol to do that.
Now people say I'm a walking advertisement for Aleve.
all day strong, all day long.
He attended all the right schools. He made all the wrong friends. John Gotti, A Life of Crime. Headliners and Legends with Matt Lauer. Tonight on MSNBC.
Imagine a ticker that tracks only your stocks, your personal stock ticker. Available at cnbc.com. Profit from it.
Tonight, another in our series, The Home of the Brave. They saved the world. 55 years ago this weekend, American GIs were helping kids in Luxembourg celebrate St. Nicholas Day on the church calendar. Little did they know what was to come. NBC's Roger O'Neill tonight on one man who will never forget.
He's the American GI who still plays St. Nicholas, Richard Brookins.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Who still sees in the children's eyes the same thing he saw 55 years ago, the wonder of Christmas. Then, an act of kindness in the middle of war, December 5, 1944. Private Brookins handing out small presents donated from the rations of soldiers of the 28th Infantry Division to the children of Wiltz, Luxembourg, a town just liberated by Americans after 4 brutal years of Nazi occupation.
I learned that they had had no candy or chocolate for about 4.5 years while the Germans were here.
In their eyes, you saw
an overflowing of happiness, as far as I could tell.
Little did Brookins or any other American know that in just 10 days, on December 16th, the Germans would launch their last-ditch effort to save the war, the terrible Battle of the Bulge. 20,000 GIs injured or captured. 20,000 more killed. Some of the children who just got presents were killed too. The Germans would retake the small town. The next battle would nearly destroy it. The ghost of 44 still seemed to echo through the streets of Wiltz. The war never forgotten here, especially that one moment during all that misery when the American St. Nick came to visit. Freddie Zimmer was 11 years old.
That is so, I never forget that. That was a surprise for us, you understand? 4 years we have nothing.
But every year since, there's been a festival celebrating St. Nicholas Day and to honor the soldiers. Brookins has been invited back 5 times. He's 77 now.
What a waste.
On this trip, he was drawn to the American cemetery nearby. 5,076 graves.
What a shame. What a bunch of heroes.
One grave in particular, Edgar Stein. This was your buddy?
This was my buddy from the 28th Signal Company. It was just a terrible time. Fortunately, we won. We won.
Every visit so bittersweet for this soldier, the joy in his heart for the children, the pain of the memories. Roger O'Neill, NBC News, Wiltz, Luxembourg.
And a final note tonight, the loss of one of our own, Tony Wasserman, an African by birth, an ace cameraman around the world, especially in the hot spots and hellholes. Tony was behind the lens throughout the biggest stories of the last 20 years and always the life of the party, even after the most dangerous day. He died in London of a heart attack at the age of 51 after a lifetime of dodging bullets, landmines, and bombs. For the rest of us, life will go on, but it won't be nearly as much fun. That's Nightly News for this Monday night. Don't forget Dateline tonight at 10, 9 Central. I'm Tom Brokaw, and I'll see you back here tomorrow night.